Imagine carrying a heavy backpack, but here's the catch. You packed it yourself. Every doubt, every toxic habit, every unnecessary worry, you put them there. And you've been carrying this weight for years without even realizing it. But what if I told you that real transformation doesn't come from adding more to your life, but from quietly letting go? In a world that constantly demands more success, more approval, more distractions, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The truth is, most of our struggles don't come from what's missing, but from what we refuse to release. We hold on to toxic relationships out of guilt. We chase external validation at the cost of our peace. We cling to destructive habits because they feel familiar, even when they no longer serve us. But what if you could change that? What if you could reclaim your energy, your clarity, and your purpose? Not by doing more, but by eliminating the things that quietly drain you. That's where Stoicism comes in. The ancient Stoics understood that the key to a peaceful and fulfilling life isn't found in controlling the outside world, but in mastering your own mind. They taught that by letting go of what we cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Today, we'll apply these timeless lessons to modern life. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to quietly eliminate the things that are holding you back, without drama, without regret, and without needing external validation. We'll start with one of the biggest obstacles to personal freedom, the fear of others' opinions. Then move through toxic relationships, self-destructive habits, and more, ending with the most powerful shift you can make today. If you're ready to stop carrying unnecessary weight and create space for true inner peace and growth, stay with me until the end. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to hit like and subscribe to join our journey of Stoic life transformation. And as you listen, think about this. What is one thing you've been holding on to that no longer serves you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Now, let's begin. Rule 1. Overcome the fear of others' opinions. Start strong. You've probably held back before, biting your tongue, adjusting your words, hesitating to take action, all because of what someone else might think. It's a subtle fear, one that seeps into every decision, shaping your life in ways you don't even notice. You second-guess yourself, keep ideas to yourself, and stay within the lines society has drawn for you. But here's the truth. Most people are too caught up in their own worries to be thinking about you. And even if they do judge you, so what? Their opinions don't pay your bills, they don't build your dreams, and they certainly don't live your experiences. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This isn't about embracing ignorance. It's about recognizing that true growth often comes with discomfort, especially the discomfort of being misunderstood. But does that mean you should shrink yourself? No. It means you should stop living according to external approval and start living by your own principles. The only opinion that truly matters is your own, because you are the one who has to live with the consequences of your choices. Think about all the times you've hesitated because of what others might say. Maybe you wanted to start a business, switch careers, or simply express your thoughts more openly. But the fear of judgment held you back. The truth is, fear doesn't just shape your actions, it shapes your identity. When you constantly adjust to fit the expectations of others, you end up living a smaller version of your own life. You become trapped in a box of, what will they think? Instead of asking yourself the real question, what do I want? Now, how do you start breaking free? First, recognize the illusion. The people you're afraid of impressing are busy dealing with their own struggles, insecurities and distractions. Most of them won't even remember your so-called mistakes. And for the few who do judge you, why does their opinion hold so much power? Does it change your worth? Does it alter your abilities? The answer is no. Once you realize this, you begin to understand that the weight you've been carrying is entirely optional. You can set it down at any moment. A simple exercise. The next time you catch yourself hesitating because of what others might think, pause and ask yourself, am I acting in line with my values, or am I acting out of fear? If it's fear, challenge it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? In most cases, the worst-case scenario is far less catastrophic than your mind makes it out to be. And even if someone does disapprove, does it really matter? Will it affect your life in any meaningful way? Or is it just noise? Here's something practical you can do today. Start small. Do one thing outside your comfort zone, something you'd usually avoid because of fear of judgment. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, posting something honest online, or simply wearing something bold. Each time you push through, you train your mind to value internal alignment over external validation. Over time, what once felt terrifying becomes empowering. And as you care less about the approval of others, you'll find a new kind of freedom. The kind that allows you to live fully without the invisible chains of fear holding you back. It also helps to surround yourself with people who support your growth instead of stifling it. Toxic environments, where criticism and judgment are constant, can magnify your fears. Seek out those who encourage you to be yourself, who value authenticity over conformity. And remember, even in supportive environments, the ultimate goal isn't to avoid judgment altogether. It's to build enough inner strength that external opinions no longer control you. The fear of others' opinions is deeply rooted in our need to belong. It's a natural human instinct, but when it dictates your life, it becomes a problem. True belonging isn't about suppressing who you are to fit in. It's about showing up as your authentic self and letting the right people find you. At the end of your life, do you want to look back and realize you lived according to other people's expectations? Or do you want to say, I lived true to myself? This question cuts through the noise. Most of the judgments you fear today will be forgotten tomorrow. But the choices you make for yourself, those will stay with you forever. Breaking free from this fear isn't about ignoring the world around you. It's about putting your own voice at the center of your life. It's about valuing your happiness over external approval, your peace over public perception. Because when you do that, the world becomes quieter, your mind becomes clearer, and your path becomes entirely your own. Rule 2. Cut out toxic relationships. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But what happens when some of those people drain your energy, undermine your confidence, or make you question your worth? The truth is, relationships shape your mindset, your emotions, and even the direction of your life. And if you're surrounded by toxic influences, you might be unknowingly holding yourself back from peace, growth, and true self-respect. Toxic relationships aren't always obvious. They don't necessarily come with dramatic arguments or blatant betrayal. Sometimes they show up as subtle criticism, persistent negativity, or a one-sided connection where you give but rarely receive. Over time, these relationships create an emotional environment where you feel exhausted, unappreciated, or even trapped. And yet, So many of us hold on to them, out of guilt, out of fear, or simply because we've grown used to them. But here's the harsh reality. The longer you tolerate toxic connections, the more they erode your self-respect. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus warned, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." It's not about isolating yourself, it's about protecting your energy. The people you allow into your life influence your thoughts, your habits, and ultimately, your future. If someone constantly brings drama, negativity, or self-doubt into your life, ask yourself, why am I still holding on? Cutting out toxic relationships doesn't mean creating unnecessary conflict. It doesn't mean dramatic exits or long explanations. In fact, one of the most powerful ways to eliminate these draining connections is to do so quietly and intentionally. You don't need to announce your decision or justify it to anyone. Simply begin by creating distance. Reduce the time you spend with those who deplete your energy. Redirect your focus toward people who uplift, support, and genuinely respect you. But how do you recognize a toxic relationship? Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone. Do you leave feeling drained, anxious, or insecure? Do you constantly walk on eggshells, afraid of their judgment or reaction? If the answer is yes, that relationship may be doing more harm than good. Healthy relationships should leave you feeling understood, respected, and at ease, not emotionally exhausted. Setting boundaries is an essential step in eliminating toxic connections. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your peace. If you have a friend who thrives on gossip, limit your engagement in those conversations. If a family member constantly criticizes your choices, stop seeking their approval. And if someone refuses to respect your boundaries, it may be time to step away completely. Of course, not every difficult relationship is beyond repair. Some connections can be transformed through open, honest communication. But if you've tried and nothing improves, understand this. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough to stop tolerating what's harming you. Here's something practical you can do today. Make a list of the people in your life. Ask yourself, who uplifts me? Who drains me? Once you've identified the relationships that consistently leave you feeling worse, decide, can this relationship be improved, or is it time to step away? Then take one small action. Whether it's limiting time with that person, setting a boundary, or shifting your energy elsewhere. Breaking free from toxic relationships isn't about being harsh. It's about being kind to yourself. By removing what no longer serves you, you create space for something better. You surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries, encourage your growth, and bring genuine joy into your life. In the end, true self-respect comes from refusing to settle for relationships that make you feel small. So ask yourself, am I holding on to certain people out of habit, or because they truly add value to my life? If it's the former, start letting go, quietly, intentionally, and without guilt. Because eliminating negativity for inner peace isn't just about mindset, it's about who you allow into your world. Rule 3. Break free from destructive habits. You don't wake up one day and find your life in chaos. It happens slowly, one small habit at a time. A few extra minutes of scrolling before bed. A tendency to procrastinate on the hard things. The comfort of distractions that keep you from facing what really matters. Destructive habits rarely seem harmful in the moment, but over time they become the silent architects of stress, regret, and wasted potential. And if you don't take control of them, they will take control of you. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that true freedom doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from self-mastery. Seneca wrote, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." In other words, the strongest person isn't the one who controls others, but the one who controls themselves. When you break free from destructive habits, you regain power over your life. You stop being a slave to impulses and start acting with intention. But breaking a habit isn't about sheer willpower. That's where most people go wrong. They try to quit bad habits without replacing them, leaving an empty space that temptation rushes to fill. Instead of just stopping, you need to redirect your energy. Replace mindless social media scrolling with reading. Trade emotional eating for a short walk. Swap late-night binge-watching for an earlier bedtime. The goal isn't just to remove, it's to replace. Think about a habit that's been holding you back. Maybe it's checking your phone first thing in the morning, starting your day with distractions instead of purpose. Or maybe it's postponing important work until the last minute, letting anxiety build up instead of tackling things head-on. Whatever it is, ask yourself, is this habit making my life better or worse? If it's the latter, it's time to let it go. One simple way to start is tracking your triggers. Most habits aren't random. They're reactions to something. Stress, boredom, insecurity. These emotions drive your behaviors. The next time you catch yourself slipping into a habit you want to break, pause. Ask yourself, what led me to this moment? If it's stress, find a healthier way to release it. If it's boredom, engage in something meaningful. Awareness is the first step to change. Another key is starting small. Many people fail to change because they aim too high, too fast. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire routine overnight, focus on one small shift at a time. If you want to cut back on social media, start by setting a 30-minute limit. If you want to wake up earlier, start by moving your bedtime back by just 15 minutes. Small wins create momentum, and over time they lead to real transformation. Most importantly, don't expect perfection. Breaking free from destructive habits is a process, not a single moment of willpower. There will be setbacks. You'll have days where you slip back into old patterns, but instead of beating yourself up, treat those moments as data, not failure. Ask yourself, what triggered this? How can I respond differently next time? Growth isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up every time you do. Here's something practical you can do today. Choose one habit you want to change. For the next week, focus on replacing it with something better. Track your progress each day. And at the end of the week, reflect. Do I feel more in control, more at peace, more aligned with the person I want to be? The answer will tell you everything you need to know. Your habits shape your life. They determine whether you move forward or stay stuck. By eliminating the ones that no longer serve you, you create space for new routines, ones that support your growth, increase your energy, and help you become the person you truly want to be. True progress isn't about grand gestures. It's about small, consistent actions that lead to lasting change. And it starts with a single choice. Rule 4. Let go of the need to control everything. There's a reason why trying to control everything leaves you feeling exhausted. The more you cling to control, the more anxious and frustrated you become. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of planning, worrying, or forcing outcomes will change that. But here's the paradox. The moment you let go of what you can't control, you gain something even more valuable: inner peace. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus famously said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." The problem is, most people spend their energy on the things that aren't up to them: what others think, how situations unfold, or even how life should be. When reality doesn't match their expectations, they suffer. But the key to freedom lies in shifting your focus. Instead of resisting uncertainty, embrace it. Instead of controlling outcomes, control your reactions. Think about the last time you got frustrated over something beyond your control. Maybe it was getting stuck in traffic, a delayed response from someone, or an unexpected change in plans. Did stressing over it change anything? Or did it just steal your peace? Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True power isn't about controlling life, it's about controlling your response to it. So how do you start letting go? First, recognize when you're trying to control the uncontrollable. The next time you feel frustrated, pause. Ask yourself, is this something I can change, or is it outside my control? If it's the latter, practice releasing it. Instead of wasting energy on things beyond your reach, redirect that energy toward what is in your control: your mindset, your actions, your attitude. Another powerful practice is detaching from outcomes. Many people attach their happiness to how things turn out, expecting events to unfold exactly as they want. But life rarely follows a script. A job offer falls through. A relationship doesn't work out. An opportunity doesn't go as planned. When you attach your emotions to external events, you set yourself up for disappointment. Instead, focus on effort over results. Do your best, then let go of the outcome. Trust that whatever happens, you will adapt. A simple yet effective exercise: when something unexpected happens, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I can't control this, but I can control how I react. This small shift in perspective can dramatically reduce stress and help you stay centered, even in the face of uncertainty. Letting go of control doesn't mean being passive. It means choosing where to direct your energy wisely. It means accepting that some things are meant to be handled, while others are meant to be let go. And in that letting go, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. Here's something practical you can do today. Choose one thing you've been trying to control, whether it's a situation, a person's behavior, or an outcome. Make the conscious choice to release it. Observe how much lighter you feel. The more you practice this, the more you'll realize that peace isn't found in controlling life. It's found in accepting it. Rule 5. Release unrealistic expectations. We all carry expectations about our careers, relationships, even how life should unfold. But what happens when reality doesn't match those expectations? Frustration, stress, disappointment. We get caught in the gap between what we hoped would happen and what actually happens. And in that gap, we suffer. The truth is, unrealistic expectations are silent saboteurs. They create unnecessary pressure, distort reality, and make it nearly impossible to find peace. We expect people to always understand us, to behave a certain way, to never let us down. We expect success to come quickly, progress to be linear, and life to be fair. But life doesn't follow a script. And when we resist that truth, we set ourselves up for constant frustration. The Stoics taught that the key to peace is not in controlling reality, but in accepting it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That means recognizing that much of our disappointment doesn't come from life itself, but from our rigid expectations of how it should be. Think about a time when you felt deeply frustrated. Maybe a friend didn't support you the way you expected. Maybe a career move didn't go as planned. Maybe you worked hard for something only to face rejection. The pain wasn't just in the situation itself, it was in the expectation that things should have gone differently. But what if, instead of fighting reality, you embraced it? What if, instead of resenting the unexpected, you adapted to it? One way to start is by practicing flexibility. Instead of expecting things to go exactly as you envisioned, prepare for different possibilities. Hope for the best, but be ready for setbacks. See challenges not as roadblocks, but as redirections. Seneca said, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." When you release the need for life to match your expectations, you open yourself up to a new kind of freedom, one where peace is not dependent on perfection. Another powerful shift is replacing expectation with intention. Instead of expecting others to behave a certain way, focus on how you want to show up in your relationships. Instead of expecting success overnight, focus on the daily effort that moves you forward. Instead of expecting life to be fair, focus on building the resilience to face it as it is. The more you anchor yourself in what you can control, the less you suffer over what you can't. Here's something practical you can do today. Identify one expectation that's been causing you stress. Maybe it's about a person, a goal, or a situation. Now ask yourself, is this expectation serving me, or is it setting me up for disappointment? If it's the latter, practice letting it go. Shift your focus from controlling the outcome to controlling your response. See what happens when you stop resisting reality and start flowing with it. Releasing unrealistic expectations doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from unnecessary stress and disappointment. It means embracing life as it comes, not as you demand it to be. And in that acceptance, you'll find something far more valuable than control. You'll find peace. Rule 6. Stop the need to always be right. Have you ever found yourself locked in an argument, not because the discussion mattered, but because you needed to be right? It happens more often than we realize. The need to always be right can turn small disagreements into unnecessary battles, damage relationships, and drain our mental energy. But what if letting go of this need could actually make you stronger? The Stoics understood that the pursuit of truth is more important than the pursuit of being right. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." In other words, the moment we cling to the idea that we already have all the answers, we stop growing. True wisdom comes from humility, the willingness to listen, to question, and to accept that we might be wrong. Think about the last time you argued with someone. Maybe it was over a small detail, a personal belief, or a misunderstanding. Did proving your point actually improve the situation? Or did it just escalate tension? The truth is, the need to be right often has little to do with truth itself. It's about ego. It's about wanting to feel superior, to win, to be validated. But at what cost? Letting go of this need doesn't mean you stop standing up for what you believe in. It means choosing your battles wisely. Not every disagreement requires a winner. Not every discussion needs to end with one side victorious and the other defeated. Sometimes, simply listening is the strongest thing you can do. When you resist the urge to correct, to debate, or to dominate, you create space for understanding, and that's far more valuable than being right. A practical way to apply this? Pause before you react. The next time you feel the urge to prove a point, ask yourself, am I arguing for truth, or am I arguing for my ego? If it's about ego, step back. Let the moment pass. You'll be surprised at how much lighter you feel when you stop forcing your perspective on others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." This is the mindset of a true Stoic. Growth over pride, understanding over dominance, peace over unnecessary conflict. Here's a challenge. For the next 24 hours, let one disagreement go. It could be with a friend, a family member, or even a stranger online. Resist the urge to argue. Choose peace instead of proving a point. Notice how it affects your energy, your stress, and your relationships. Releasing the need to always be right isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. It's about prioritizing inner peace over external validation. And when you master this, you'll find that the world becomes a much calmer place, not because it changed, but because you did. Rule 7. Silence the digital noise. There was a time when silence was a part of daily life. A moment alone was truly alone. Now, every quiet second is filled with notifications, scrolling, and an endless stream of digital noise. It's become harder to focus, to reflect, and to simply be. And yet, we wonder why we feel constantly overwhelmed, distracted, or anxious. The truth is, if you don't control your attention, the world will control it for you. The Stoics understood this problem long before smartphones and social media. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You must reclaim yourself. The world will drag you in 1,000 directions unless you resist." His words are even more relevant today. Every ping, every buzz, every algorithm is designed to keep you hooked, to steal your time, your focus, and your mental clarity. And most people don't even realize it's happening. Think about it. How often do you check your phone without thinking? How many times have you sat down to do something meaningful, only to get distracted by an email, a news headline, or a random post? These interruptions don't just waste time. They fragment your mind. They make deep thinking harder. They weaken your ability to be present. And over time, they create a life where your attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 directions, never truly your own. But you don't have to live this way. You can take back control. The first step is awareness. Start noticing how often you reach for your phone out of habit. The next time you feel the urge to check social media or refresh your inbox, pause. Ask yourself, is this serving me, or is it just a reflex? The simple act of questioning it brings awareness back to your choices. Next, set boundaries with technology. Not everything demands an instant response. Turn off non-essential notifications. Create tech-free zones, maybe the first hour of your morning or the last hour before bed. These small shifts help retrain your mind to function without constant stimulation. Another powerful practice? Replace mindless scrolling with intentional stillness. Instead of reaching for your phone during every idle moment, Practice being still. Take a deep breath. Observe your surroundings. Give your mind a chance to rest instead of constantly consuming. Seneca wrote, "If you are everywhere, you are nowhere. If your attention is always scattered, you'll never fully experience the present moment." And here's a challenge for you. For the next 24 hours, limit your screen time by just 30 minutes. Use that time for something meaningful. Reading, journaling, walking, or simply sitting in silence. Notice how it feels, because the more you quiet the digital noise, the more you reclaim your peace. Silencing distractions isn't about disconnecting from the world. It's about reconnecting with yourself. And when you do, you'll find that clarity, focus, and a deep sense of calm were there all along, just waiting for you to listen. Rule 8. Transform negative thoughts. Your thoughts shape your reality. What you focus on, you become. And yet, so many of us let negative thoughts dominate our minds. Self-doubt, regret, fear of failure. These thoughts don't just exist in your head. They influence your mood, your decisions, and even the way you experience life. But what if you could break free? What if you could take control of your mind instead of letting it control you? The Stoics believe that mastering your thoughts is the key to mastering your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This means that if you constantly feed your mind with negativity, your life will reflect that negativity. But if you train your mind to see things differently, to shift perspective, to reframe challenges, you can find clarity, resilience, and inner peace. Think about the last time a negative thought took over. Maybe you made a mistake, and your mind instantly told you, "I always mess things up." Maybe you compared yourself to someone else and thought, "I'll never be as successful as them." These thoughts feel real in the moment, but are they true? Or are they just old patterns, repeating themselves out of habit? The first step to transforming negative thoughts is awareness. The next time you catch yourself in a spiral of self-criticism or worry, pause. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back? Just recognizing that a thought is negative gives you power over it. Next, practice reframing. Instead of thinking, "I failed, so I'm a failure," reframe it. "I failed, so I learned something valuable." Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," shift it to, "I am growing, and growth takes time." This small change in language rewires your brain to see opportunities instead of limitations. Another powerful way to break free is focusing on gratitude. Negative thoughts often arise from what's missing, what you lack, what went wrong, what could be better. Gratitude shifts your focus to what's already good. Seneca advised, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Each day, take a moment to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a good meal, a kind friend, or the fact that you have another day to improve. The more you focus on what's good, the less power negativity has over you. Here's something you can do today. The next time a negative thought enters your mind, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Is there another way to see this? Then replace it with a more constructive thought. With practice, this becomes second nature, and over time, you'll notice something powerful. Your mind will become quieter, your emotions steadier, and your sense of inner peace stronger than ever before. Breaking free from negativity isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing a mindset that empowers you instead of limiting you. And once you master your thoughts, you'll realize that's where true freedom begins. Rule 9. Clear physical and mental clutter. Your environment shapes your mind. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. When your home is filled with unnecessary possessions and your mind is crowded with unfinished thoughts, lingering worries, and constant distractions, it becomes nearly impossible to feel at peace. The Stoics understood that true clarity comes not from adding more, but from removing what no longer serves you. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Much of that waste comes from clutter, both physical and mental. We hold on to things we don't need, thoughts that no longer help us, and emotions that drain us. And over time, this excess noise steals our focus, energy, and ability to be fully present. Think about your living space. Is it filled with objects you no longer use? Does the sight of a messy desk, a crowded closet, or an overflowing inbox create a sense of stress instead of calm? Now think about your mind. Is it filled with unresolved concerns, unfinished tasks, and mental loops that keep running in the background? If so, it might be time to clear the clutter, inside and out. Start with the physical. Choose one small area, a drawer, a desk, or even just your phone's home screen. Remove what you don't need. Keep only what adds value to your life. The moment you create space, you'll feel a shift. Your mind will feel lighter. Then move to the mental. Mental clutter often comes from unfinished tasks, unspoken words, or lingering anxieties. Take a moment to write down everything on your mind, the to-dos, the worries, the thoughts pulling your attention in different directions. Once it's on paper, it's no longer stuck in your head. From there, decide, what can I take action on? What can I let go of? Marcus Aurelius advised, if you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential. This is the key, not just removing clutter, but prioritizing only what truly matters. Here's something practical you can do today. Choose one thing, either a physical item to remove or a lingering thought to resolve. Let it go. Notice how even a small act of decluttering brings a sense of relief. The more you simplify, the more you create space for peace, focus, and a life that reflects what truly matters. Because in the end, eliminating negativity for inner peace isn't just about your thoughts. It's about your environment, your habits, and the space you allow yourself to exist in. Clear the clutter and make room for something better. Rule 10. Escape the comparison trap. Nothing steals joy faster than comparison. You scroll through social media and see someone traveling the world while you're stuck in your daily routine. You hear about a colleague's promotion and suddenly feel behind. It's easy to believe that everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still. But here's the truth. Comparison is a trap. It distracts you from your own growth and fills your mind with unnecessary negativity. The Stoics understood this deeply. Instead of measuring progress by external standards, they believed in measuring oneself only against who they were yesterday. Seneca wrote, "You should not compare yourself to others. You should compare yourself to yourself." This simple shift in perspective is life-changing. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Think about it. How often do you compare yourself to someone without knowing their full story? You see their achievements, but not their struggles, their highlights, but not their failures. Yet, you judge yourself based on an incomplete picture. This leads to self-doubt, anxiety, and a sense of inadequacy, all based on an illusion. So how do you break free? First, shift your focus inward. The next time you catch yourself comparing, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Then redirect your energy toward your own progress. Instead of thinking, they're doing better than me, reframe it. How can I improve myself today? This simple shift turns envy into motivation. Next, practice gratitude. One of the quickest ways to escape the comparison trap is to focus on what you already have. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. Instead, be mindful of what you yourself have. Take a moment to appreciate your own journey, your progress, your strengths, your unique path. The more you focus on your own blessings, the less other people's success will make you feel lacking." Finally, limit exposure to triggers. If certain social media accounts make you feel inadequate, unfollow them. If constant comparison at work drains you, set boundaries. Curate your environment to support your growth, not someone else's version of success. Here's something you can do today. Take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're proud of, things you've accomplished, no matter how small. Let that be your measure of success. Because the moment you stop comparing and start focusing on your own journey, you'll find something far more valuable than external validation. You'll find inner peace. At its core, Stoicism is not about adding more to your life. It's about eliminating what no longer serves you. In this video, we explored 10 powerful things you can let go of to create space for clarity, purpose, and peace. The fear of others' opinions, toxic relationships, destructive habits, the illusion of control, unrealistic expectations, the need to always be right, digital noise, negative thoughts, clutter, both physical and mental, and the endless trap of comparison. Each of these things quietly steals your energy, your focus, and your ability to live fully in the present. But when you begin to remove them, one by one, you create room for something greater: inner strength, resilience, and true freedom. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your peace, your clarity, your happiness, they don't come from controlling the world around you. They come from controlling how you respond to it." Now, here's your challenge. Pick one thing from this video that resonated with you the most. One thing you know is holding you back, and take the first step in letting it go. It doesn't have to be a big gesture. Small, quiet decisions lead to the most lasting transformation. If this video helped you, consider subscribing to Stoic Teachings today for more insights on quiet self-improvement and the Stoic life transformation. And if you're ready to break free from negativity and build a more intentional life, share your thoughts in the comments below. What's the first thing you will eliminate for inner peace? The most powerful changes don't happen with noise. They happen in silence. And in that silence, you'll find who you were meant to be.